You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Days of Our Lives fans, I've got your weekly prediction edition. We're going to talk about Alex giving a warning, Kristen completely stunned, and a baby battle. It's Belynda from Soap Dirt, and we have got predictions for Javi, Leo, Johnny, and Chanel, also for Rachel and Kristen, also for Alex, Xander, and Phillip, for Gwen and EJ, and also for Theo and Tony and Gaby. And hey, if you're not following us, please reach down, click that subscribe button. Now let's get into our very first prediction. Javi and Leo and Chanel and Johnny all want baby Tesoto. So Thursday, spoilers say Chanel's ready to start a family and tells Johnny, I already have a baby in mind. And Leo and Javi are talking about Tesoto being up for adoption because the waiting period is over. And on Friday, Brady has a hunch about the adoption and shares it with Steve. And then also this week, looks like Rafe is running a DNA test on Tesoto because he's swabbing the baby's cheek. So Javi and Leo and Rafe, of course, have been fostering little Tesoto. And Chanel and Johnny, of course, were super close to adopting Tate and Sophia's baby until the whole EJ shooting thing, and then Johnny lost confidence. But we also have Javi with this thing in his past about losing a child, and that could make him not as good of a candidate for adoption. Leo has that checkered con man past. Chanel has a past with the accidental death of the professor that she was sleeping with, and then Johnny's recent attempted murder trial. So it's all very messy for all four of the adoption candidates. Sophia is worried her mom, Amy, will demand custody of Tesoto, which is not what Sophia wants at all. So she's sweating it this week while Brady, Tate, and Steve keep digging into what happened to the baby, really, because they're suspicious of the adoption. And then, of course, we have Rafe doing this DNA test. So I wonder if it may come out that Tate is not really the father, because a lot of fans still wonder if there's a chance Aaron is the baby daddy because he and Sophia had this mystery afternoon off alone together, like 11 months ago, 10 months ago, enough for him to possibly be the baby daddy. I do think when the truth comes out, there's still going to be some debate over who gets the baby, and Tate would probably lean towards Chanel and Johnny as his child's adoptive parents. So we'll see. Our second prediction, Rachel shocks Kristen in Statesville. So on Thursday, spoilers have Rachel venting to Holly, and that's the same day Brady tells Rachel that her mom, Kristen, is going to be in prison for 6 years. And Rachel is distraught. She's crying. She's blaming herself for her mom being in jail, and that's what she's telling Holly. Then on Friday, spoilers have Kristen stunned by Rachel. So as far as we know, and as far as Marlena and EJ and Kristen know, Rachel doesn't remember she shot her uncle EJ. But there is a chance maybe Rachel does remember, and she's just a consummate little wicked liar. We'll know what it is very soon. So Rachel's telling Holly it's all her fault. Her mom's behind bars. And this may tie back to the Ava Vitale kidnapping that led to EJ and Kristen getting into it over her grandma, Rachel Blake. So Rachel may know Kristen pulled the gun on EJ to demand the return of her mom, Rachel Blake, Rachel Sr., So even if Rachel has traumatic amnesia like Marlena assumes, those memories could come flooding back. This week, Rachel is up at Statesville visiting her mom, Kristen. I don't know if Brady's going to take her or the kid sneaks off because she has a way of making things happen. Since Kristen is shocked, that could just be because her daughter shows up to visit, or it could be that Rachel admits to her mom that she remembers shooting EJ and she doesn't want Kristen in prison for her crime. However, I do think if Rachel has these memories and tells Kristen, I think she would warn her daughter, don't ever tell anybody else. I think Kristen would tell Rachel, I'm doing this for you. Don't tell anybody that you shot him. We've also heard chatter that Kristen and Brady's daughter could be going away to Bayview for some inpatient therapy while Alice Halsey took a break from Days of Our Lives to tape the Little House on the Prairie reboot. Our third prediction, Alex warns Xander and Phillip that bad things are afoot. Monday spoilers have Xander and Phillip freaking out and Gaby trying to stay a step ahead of them. On Tuesday, Gaby reminds Tony about their deal. On Wednesday, Stephanie confronts Steve. And on Thursday, spoilers have Stephanie entrusting Alex with a secret. So Xander and Phillip's takeover of DiMera has been under scrutiny. Tony and Gaby, of course, plotting to get the company away from the Kiriakis family. Gaby hired Steve to investigate, but because Stephanie's involved with Alex, he had a conflict and he gave her money back. So Xander and Phillip are both tempted by Gaby's charms, and Phillip even got in bed with Gaby, even though he knew she was up to something. And then later she planted a bug in the pen and put it in Xander's office. Alex knew that Gaby left a note using that pen. So Xander realized they have been bugged. That was at the end of the week. And he and Phillip had just been talking about the forged letter. So they're in a bit of a panic because they know there is some kind of outside scrutiny happening. That's bad news. So Xander may rush out that paperwork, officially naming Phillip his co-CEO because they don't know who's spying, but they know someone is. Also, Xander and Phillip do some brother bonding this week, according to spoilers. And so it might be because they go ahead and just get that out of the way and it's official, they're co-CEOs. So Stephanie may tell Alex what she knows about her dad Steve's investigation into Titan, but asks him to keep it to himself. But Alex is loyal to his cousins and he is a Kiriakis, so he may tell Xander and Phillip that Steve was investigating them. And the question is, will that lead them back to Gaby and Tony? Our fourth prediction, Gwen and EJ hit the sheets. So on Monday, Gwen's complaining to EJ, and on Tuesday in spoilers, EJ's calling Chad out on his feelings for Kat. So Gwen and EJ are both pretty much single, even though she's not technically divorced from EJ's nephew, Dimitri von Leuschner. But Gwen and EJ get along okay. And they may commiserate together and have some drinks in Casa DiMera's living room. One thing could lead to another. They may take the party upstairs. So we know Gwen's in a loveless marriage with a man she can't even locate, and her attempts to seduce Xander went nowhere fast. Plus, Belle told EJ she's done with him forever, so he's also got a room at Heartbreak Hotel. And if you remember last week, Gwen showed up at EJ's new office at University Hospital, caught Kat going through things, which I'm sure she can explain as his new assistant. But why was Gwen even up at the hospital? She may be EJ's secret investor or the middleman. Our leaker told us a while back that Vivian was the angel investor and Gwen was her representative in Salem, because it does seem totally random that Gwen's in town and she's never properly explained why. However, EJ may not know yet that Vivian sent Gwen to keep an eye on him. Either way, Gwen and EJ are both lonely and gorgeous and they might hook up. And if she's also involved with the dodgy hospital scheme, I think it seems even more likely. Our fifth and final prediction, Tony plans to double cross Gaby and put in Theo as the CEO. So Monday, Gaby is staying a step ahead of the Kiriakis brothers. Tuesday spoilers have Gaby reminding Tony about their deal. That's the same day Theo returns to Salem. There's been a recast. Tyler Andrew replaces Cameron Johnson. And on Wednesday, Abe and Paulina are supporting Theo. And in the promo, Tony is welcoming Theo home. And he's asking Tony, what's this proposal? So Tony is working with Gaby to get the goods on Xander and Phillip so they can get DiMera away from Titan. And Gaby reminding Tony of the deal might have her being suspicious that he is going to double cross her, because Gaby's always suspicious. And then Tony has this proposal for Theo, who is a computer expert. So he may be doing some dirty work for the family. He did some dirty work a few years ago for the DiMeras before he moved to South Africa. So Theo might be conspiring with Tony to do something sneaky and get the family business away from the Kiriakises and out from under Titan. And there's also the chance that Tony might take advantage of him. Theo is on Spectrum, and so he may have an issue getting a good read on Tony and his social cues and exactly what he is plotting. So we'll see. But I definitely think Tony would prefer to have Gaby out of the way and Theo, a real DiMera, in the CEO seat.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.